Mercedes comes out and gets in Chris Statlander's face after she wins and gets on the mic and basically says, who's the champion who's going to come out and go after me and bring your title with you? I'll beat your ass. And out comes the Ring of Honor interim television champion, Mina Shirakawa. I think it's safe to say a lot of people had higher expectations than Mina. I heard Phil on Grapsody talk about how he figured it was either going to be Suri or Mina because of just the ease of having Mina in on the card, and she's popular and it is what it is. I think Mina was the wrong choice for a lot of different reasons, and it just wasn't what it could have been. And it really brought the crowd down to a certain degree. I see some people saying they were there live and that's when the crowd died, and you can hear it. And also something happened with the audio at that point that got weird. It felt like every time commentary said anything, like this wave of just white noise would filter in, and I don't know what that was about. It just felt like a lull in the show, which sucks because like the presentation of Mercedes Moné is bigger than that, and it just felt disappointing. So Henry in the chat saying back-to-back disappointing challengers for Moné. The difference here is that when Riho was announced as a challenger, people were down on it, but then the match with Riho at the pay-per-view ended up being a lot better than expected. Granted, the bar was low given that Riho had just come back and had a couple of matches that were not so great, but this was, I would argue this was a lower. Oh, you mean the Laney? Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was pretty sure he was talking about Lacey, not Riho.
So really, then it's 3 in a row because Riho was another one that people
we're not gonna dismiss the GOAT Riho. Sorry.
Well, I hear that she's finally at the tipping point, maybe 100 pounds, but that's just her. And this is the reporting from Jim Ross. The point of all this being, people were maybe expecting more than what they got, and Mercedes was kind of left to her own devices here to win another belt.
This was one where I don't mind Mercedes winning all these titles. She's going these independent promotions. She's winning these titles. She's giving them some shine, and I got no issue with it. This is where I felt like, all right, you're kind of just getting a belt to get a belt here. If this was your challenger, that's what it feels. I would have preferred, but they pigeonholed themselves into, oh, it's going to be, I challenge any champion. And so it's going to be champion and champion. And so then you're limiting your options of what champions are going to come out. And if you didn't have Siri, the new IWGP Women's Champion, then there weren't a ton of options here. Because you're probably not going to bring in some random independent champion from, I don't know, Italy or whatever. Yeah.
Bring someone in from like St. Louis Anarchy or one of those.
Well, yeah, we're Shaza. Shaza used to be based in St. Louis.
Shaza, are you a champion? Why aren't you working here?
Like you've really kind of pigeonholed yourself into, oh, we need a champion here. And there are only so many viable champions who can answer the call. Because again, if you just do random independent champion, it's like, all right, what are we doing here? So Siri would have been one option. And then your other options were, it was Mina. And she's an interim champion. Red Velvet's not cleared. I didn't think it was going to be Athena or anything. So there just weren't a ton of options. This is where I maybe would have just gone open challenge, bring in a good competitor, and then have Mercedes beat her. And like, you don't need to put another title on her because, all right, interim ROH television champion, what even is that? What even is that?
So here's the reality of it. Felt like they wanted to do the Ultimo Moné. She beats the Ultimo Dragon record. They wanted it to be on their show because the next night Mercedes was going to Winnipeg Pro, and we all expected her to beat Jody Threat and win that title. So you didn't want to make the record-breaking belt to be the Winnipeg Pro title. So now Tony's got a feather in his cap that he can say, oh, she did it on our show and she won her 11th title and beat the record with the Ring of Honor interim television title. Now, granted, there's Red Velvet and we have to do the match and eventually, and part of me is just like, are they really going to do the match? We made the joke online and also in our group chats that like she's going to work GalaxyCon and she's going to do a match. Like, listen, Would it be great for Ring of Honor and for Final Battle to feature a Mercedes Moné match? Of course it would. Do we expect it? My lowered expectation says no. There is a larger story at play that I'm interested in. So later on in the night, Mercedes puts a challenge out to Chris. I want the women's world title, and I think it should be champion versus champion at Full Gear. First of all, Chris being from that neighborhood is great for that match. Mercedes gets over fully as a heel, and Chris is coming towards home with that title belt. There's a story there. I see a world where Chris wins, and she basically on the lead up tells Mercedes, yeah, you've got all these belts, but like, what are they? They're small potatoes compared to this. You're not beating the best of the best. This is the problem with saying it, though. You're burying the independent companies that Mercedes is supposed to be representing. However, your story is you're great, you're amazing, but you're not trying hard to win the big one. You're just going and collecting belts from people that you can beat, but you haven't beaten me, and this is the way that it should.
She has beaten Chris twice.
No, yeah, not for the world title. You haven't beaten me for this world title. That's fair. She has beaten her.
Yeah, that, as Henry's saying, that was kind of the story with Tony. So I don't need that to be the story here. And I think they did it better with Tony. It made a whole lot more sense with Tony because Tony had such a long reign with everything. So no, I don't like that. I don't like that story. I don't like this match, honestly. Like, why are we going back to Mercedes going after the women's? She's the TBS champion. Give her something to do with the TBS title. We just saw her challenge for the world title, and she got it legitly. She won the Owen and everything. Like, okay, cool, I understand that, but I don't need her going back to the women's world title when she just lost this. Have her defend the TBS title. Have her maybe lose that title, or at least just do more with it than random challenger of the month, because that's basically what it's been with Mercedes. Like, hey, who's going to be the challenger this month for her? I'm kind of in a mind of where we talked about the interim ROH title, and I joked, like, is she gonna Samoa Joe just this thing? Like, I don't need this thing. Whatever, just like do what you want with it. I'm kind of in the mind this happens with all the titles.
Yeah.
I kind of think she's just like, I won 12 titles. You know what?
Here you go.
Here they are. Everyone else come fend for them, because no one can actually beat me for these titles. I don't think she's going to lose like 12. I understand it's not 12 real titles because the Owen doesn't count as like something you defend, and the Rev Pro titles are combined and everything. But I don't think she's going to lose 10 matches. Maybe if they're doing triple threats and 4-ways, and that's how she lost the New Japan Strong Women's title. But like, it feels like that's how she's going to lose a lot of these. I just don't think she's going to lose 10 matches out of this. Everyone's waiting for like, the Mercedes downfall. I'm like, she really just going to lose like 10 matches in the span of a month? I just don't see it.
When did she sign her deal? Was it 2023?
No, it was 2024.
Was it 24?
Right? Okay. I don't know. Time is not a real thing.
Time is a flat circle. I guess Big Business was 24 last year.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat can tell us for sure. I think it'd be very funny.
2024.
Yeah, I think it'd be very funny if she spent the majority of this whole thing like winning all these titles, winning all of them, and then on like the second to last day of her contract being like, all right, I give these all up. And everyone's like, why would you suddenly give them all up? And it's WrestleMania week. And she's back. She's going to Saudi Mania, baby. She took the big payday to go win the title.
Is the Statlander match title for title? I guess it hasn't been officially announced. So
yeah, it hasn't been officially announced. And thank you, chat, for it's February 2024. Assuming she signed a 3-year deal, you still got time on it. It could have been a longer deal because I don't know what she got out of it. I don't even know if we reported the terms of her deal, but regardless, she's got time. So I'm not saying that she's going anywhere anytime soon.
Title for title, I like even less. Like, all right, now we're gonna just do a double champion with one of these women. Like, do we need that?
Put them both on the line and get rid of one of them.
I don't.
Nothing official.
Yeah, I don't love. I just don't love this match so quickly. I just don't love it. Like, do something else with these things. I would rather Mercedes just go after the tag team titles and just add that to her collection. Sure, why not? That actually could have been a way, since Stat is the world champion, and you want to like get to something different here. Stat's the world champion. She's not going to be in the tag team title tournament. Maybe she is. I don't know. But Mercedes like goes back to Harley and is like, "Hey, you see these tag team titles? I know I rejected you once, but maybe there is something there." Because it's not like Mercedes got friends otherwise, so she just goes to Harley. And then Stat's like, "What are you doing? No, wait, team on there. Willow's there. I don't even like Willow, but you and Willow seem to get along. Or I'll be with you. I'll hang out. I'll be in this tournament, even though I'm the world champion." Like, I think there's other ways to get there than hey, I'm going to challenge you for this title and we're going to do title versus title, even though we just did this match, as far as Mercedes challenging for the women's title a couple months ago.
She's just going to win the women's world title and be like, all these other belts?
She might just win this women's world title and then be like, I mean, I joke that she's just going to vacate them all. It's a partial joke, but it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. She just wins the women's world title and is like, I've defeated wrestling. I release all of these titles, and now I just have the women's world title. And if you want to come after me, come after me. But I don't need this one title represents all of these titles that I have accomplished. Stand before me and ride the money train.
Then who defeats her at the end?
Me. We have a dance off.
You have a dance off. Mama Justice is the only answer. Should be Kate saying Mama Justice and Mercedes for the interim Ring of Honor TV title. Do that one at the pay-per-view. None of this Red Velvet stuff. It's fine. Mama Justice wins. Beats Mercedes.
So I see my guys in the frat house come out with all the titles, and I immediately shoot Jameson a message. I was like, "You killed that CEO dance." And he responded so quickly that I was like, "Is he still ringside?" He was not. He had gotten to the back at this point. When he messaged, he's like, "I couldn't let the CEO down." I was like, "You did great." So shout out to the frat house and them holding all the titles and doing the CEO dance with all of those championships. We love Jameson. We love the frat house. They did fantastic.
Would have been funnier if he was still out there when he replied.
I thought he was legitimately. It was such a quick reply that I thought he was like still out there, but apparently they had gone to the back. Like he replied before I'm sure like the match started. Honestly, I was like, oh, he got back there pretty quickly, but I just love that he replied so quickly. So again, shout out to Jameson. He's a good dude.
Live Blast saying, "Fight for Harley."
Yes, that's what I said. Like,
are we fighting for the for possession of Harley Cameron, or
sure? I don't know. It's Harley Cameron. She rules. It should be whatever you want to do with Harley Cameron. I mean, within like reasonable expectations here, but Harley Cameron rules. So SP3 and I have had this conversation before. Who gives a fuck about these titles? Get you a person. Get you a person who can do things for you and you can hang out with. That's way more value than these titles.
She's got a lawyer. Why doesn't she want to hang out with her lawyer?
Well, I mean, on television, you're not gonna be like they do a lot of TikToks. You know,
so many damn TikToks. Got sunglasses on doing TikToks. This man does more for TikTok than he does for wrestling. It's kind of amazing. Harley Cameron on a pole match. I don't think we can do that. I mean, you do what you do.
Puppet on a pole.
Puppet on a pole.
Yeah.
That's how Kate and Alex got their puppets.
Yeah.
Please bring back the puppets. The puppet will be back. They'll go back. They're going back to Australia soon enough.
True.
Puppet will be back. Don't you worry. The tag title. We'll talk about the tag titles, but also the women's tag titles being announced. The brackets will be released on Wednesday. You think it's going to be like it's going to be Mina and Tony, and then a whole bunch of like empty brackets, and people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Now they'll have a full bracket. Like I
assume so.
Until they release the bracket, I don't have much comment on. I'm glad they're finally getting around to release the bracket. You'll see who the teams are, how many people they're going to do.
I'm sure you and SP3 will do a full bracketology
Probably.
on Thursday once it's announced. Well, there's going to be one wildcard team on each side, so get excited to over predict the wildcard.
CMLL teams.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They got enough. I don't even know if it's going to be an 8 or 16. They could do a 16 again if they really tried, but I assume this is going to all come to a head at Full Gear, and Full Gear is what, a month from now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously in a month, but it's November 22nd. So yeah, they're a month from now.
Yes.
So they have enough time to do 16 if they really push it with Dynamite and Collision. They should do a Dynamite bracket and a Collision bracket.
Pretty sure it's just 8.
Probably just going to be 8.